All right, day 6 in the books. We were able to get the driver that was in Reno who had the dry run. We was able to get her a run from Reno to McAllen. So that's good. That one delivers on the 4th. So that driver will be taken care of for the next couple of days. It was like 1,990 something miles due on the 4th. Driver went in service today that was getting repairs in Alabama. Got him a load out of Alabama going up to Connecticut. My driver, he went out of service this morning. Well, really last night, because he had to come over to the garage this morning and he had to go to Ford. I don't know if I talked about it or not. If I did, then I'm just being repetitive. If I didn't, then I'll bring you up to speed. So my 17 Transit, the past week, he picked up one load, which I know I mentioned in a video somewhere. He picked up a load, had to give it right back because the check engine light came on. The van was running really rough. So the next day, he went to Ford, and they said it was a wet air filter. That's what they said it was, a wet air filter. And their superb diagnostic team figured that it wasn't, that had something to do with the cylinder 2 misfire, because they pulled the plug out and the ignition coil off and it looked new. It looked new. So that great diagnostic team really nailed it. And so we was good to go for a day, and then the check engine light came on again. So that put him out of service for half of a day. Another day, had him go to Firestone. Firestone was the only one that could get him in right away up in Michigan, and ended up getting a tune-up done and replaced the coil on cylinder 2. So then he goes back in service, get him a little short one, does another one, and then the check engine light comes on again. Well, it comes on, he says he hears something that sounded like a tire blowing out. And what it was is the intake hose was popping off of the airbox, and check engine light came on. Did it to him twice. Check engine light only came on once and then went back off, and then once it popped off again, the check engine light didn't come on. But after it happened again that quickly, told him after he gets, as soon as he got loaded, I had him go straight to a shop, and I was actually heading to rescue the load if I needed to, because it was just a few hours away. So I was going to go grab the load. It was only 200 and something pounds, and then I was going to bring it, and deliver it. I think I did mention this. So anyhow, it says the check engine light, when they scanned it, it was come in to be in a underboost. Well, what was it, last night? Yeah, last night he's driving and the check engine light comes on. He said it's not running rough or anything, but the check engine light's on. And that ended up being a code for overboost. So we've got an underboost and an overboost. The underboost probably did happen due to the intake coming off, but there's also a vacuum line that goes to the turbo that needs replaced, and that came loose, and that's what's causing the overboost. So anyhow, they didn't have the parts. They're hoping it'll hold for the time being. He's the one that's got to go home to Texas, so I got him on a short one, Ohio to Ohio right now. Hopefully grab him something maybe in the first thing in the morning and get him heading to Texas, and he can get home to Texas for the weekend and for the week. He's off for the week next week. So going to get in touch with the Ford dealer near his house tomorrow. I have the little crank and whatnot for the spare tire is bad, so I got to have that replaced as well, and then that vacuum line replaced. So gonna have a couple things done while he's off. But anyhow, another driver picked up out of Chicago this morning, going to Massachusetts. He delivers tomorrow morning. Trying to think. Oh man, this has been a week, man. I come into I don't know if he goes through this stuff all the time, and he just doesn't talk about it. But so last night, the driver that I had in Florida, I ended up getting him a load out of South Carolina that paid well enough to be able to pay for him to get up there and whatnot. So now he's supposed to load today at 1 o'clock. Then it changed to 6 o'clock. Now it got changed to 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. They didn't tell me it was going to be 9 o'clock tomorrow morning until 5 o'clock this evening. So they asked, so do you want us to take you off of it and just give you a dry run, or do you guys want to stay on it? I was like, is there going to be some layover pay? They said, yes, there'll be some layover pay. So I told him we'll stay on it because chances of getting anything where he's at this late in the day is slim to none. So I went ahead and kept him on it. Hopefully nothing happened. And where he's picking up is usually a pretty reliable place, so I believe the freight is going to ship. And that's the thing. It's a pretty reliable broker. It's a pretty reliable pickup point. So it's really surprising that, you know, this is going on with all that. So yeah, we'll get that taken care of. Hopefully get him loaded and everything, and he'll be up in Michigan tomorrow night if everything goes accordingly. And then, which is a good spot to be for one. I think he lives in Michigan, so while he's waiting for a load this weekend, if we're not able to get him something, he can at least go home for the weekend and then be sitting in Michigan for Monday. So yeah, that's that. That's pretty much everybody. Yeah, you're up to speed. Day 6. And what's crazy is like a couple 3 loads, everything kind of happened all in one little spurt. Like most of the day was just kind of bored and frustrated because nothing really popping up worth a shit, and everybody, well, I shouldn't even say nothing popping up, there was nobody really in service at the time. Everybody was on a load, or it was way early out in Pacific time zone, so nothing was going on for them for quite a while. And yeah, everything kind of happened at once. So we're all good. People are rolling, people making money. We're good to go. I really hate that I'm just working with the skeleton crew, but it's crazy. You know, Dell, he's been off. He got Rona, so he's been off. Obviously, I'm not out there, so I can't book nothing for myself. The team, they hit a deer. We had another team that just started with us a few weeks ago, if that. And they landed in Ohio a few days ago, and my brother booked them a load. They never took themselves out of service. He booked them a load, calls them, said, hey, you got a load. They're like, oh man, we didn't tell you, we're really sick and we're not going to be able to take that load. We both got food poisoning and we're going to, you know, get a hotel and everything because we're just really sick. So they go out of service. Tracker goes off. Ain't heard from them since. That was, man, I want to say it was last Friday. So obviously they've ditched, and they're working for a fleet owner. And this is where it comes into play about where I say, like, people are just grimy out here. I mean, this industry is just full of a lot of really shit people. I've reached out to the fleet owner. I've reached out to the drivers, and nobody is communicating back. Nothing. Not a peep. Not a F you didn't work us well enough. Not a, hey, sorry, this isn't working out. Whatever the reason is, not a peep, man. And you have no idea how often that happens. I mean, I've seen it happen at Barrett. I mean, I've seen it happen at VGS. I mean, everywhere. It's happening all the time. People just dipping. They act like there's no responsibility out there to be had, that you can just leave people high and dry, man. Like, it just really, really sad. I think we had one guy once that it was a new guy. He was out in California, and this is why you got to be really careful about who you sign on if you try to do, you know, the dispatching as far as being a motor carrier and bringing people on. This guy out in California, he gets a load. Brother got him a load. He goes to pick up the load. It's supposed to be 2 skids. And this guy got in touch with us saying, oh man, we're having a really hard time. Oh my God, sorry, message came through. But anyhow, he's talking how he has a really hard time getting out of California, all that good stuff. My brother, you know, he gets with us. Brother gets him a load out of California. He shows up, supposed to be 2 skids. It ends up being 3 skids. This guy throws an absolute knipsh. Like, he is just pissed off, don't want to take the load, ends up denying the load because he wasn't getting paid extra to take 3 skids. And just FYI, like in things like a flatbed trailer, like semi trucks and hot shots and things like that, like they're working LTLs or full truckloads, so they have space that they're trying to piece together freight for. With expediting, pretty much everybody that books your van, they're booking you exclusive to them. They're booking the entire cargo. They're not just, hey, we want just at least 5 feet of your space and you can go do whatever. They don't want freight intermingling. They don't want it mixing like that. They don't want, they're purchasing the whole thing, because this happens quite often. You get there, and it happens more often than not that it's not as many. That's why sometimes you'll see brokers on these bids, on the boards, they'll list it at 3 pieces, 48 by 48, and 3,000 pounds. And it's like, oh shit, man, that's heavy. And you kind of get to know who's doing what. But the reason they do that is because they're making sure that they're letting you know, like, we want your entire cargo space. Like, this could possibly be 3 skids. So when you show up and it's only 1 skid, oh shit, you're happy. It's only 1 skid at 200 pounds. Oh, sweet. But when people show up and they're supposed to be getting 1 skid and they end up getting 3 skids or 2 skids and it ends up being 3 skids and it's heavier, it's like, oh man, with the biff, man, I should have got more money, blah, 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 blah. Just, I don't know, man. Ignorance is just rampant. But yeah, he dipped, had to give that load back. And this stuff you guys would just be surprised if you ever got on this end of things, or if you really paid attention. Because I know some people out there, they just kind of bury their head in the sands and they don't talk to people. They don't really pay attention to stuff. They just do their own thing, and the world goes by, and they're fine. But and then there's others that just think like they want everything, but don't pay attention to nothing. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. But yeah, overall, I mean, good day. Everybody's booked. Everybody's rolling. Well, besides the one guy's waiting to get loaded in the morning, but other than that, everybody's loaded and rolling that can be loaded and rolling. So yeah, I've done my job here, man. I think it's time for me to get out of here. What do you think? Yeah, I got just a little bit more. I gotta wait a few more minutes. Just fed the dog. I let the dog out to go to the bathroom, and then I can get up out of her. All right, guys, appreciate you sticking in with me. If you like the content, like it, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell notification so you can get notified when I put out a video. Comment. I really like it when there's comments in the comment section with real conversation going on, not just meaningless stuff. But it's I always like it when people give their feedback. As I said, I'm not the know-it-all. I'm not the end-all be-all. So I definitely appreciate hearing from all of you. And with that, I'm out.
Your hustle got to be strong in this industry, as in any other industry.